Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Wednesday the 5th of March. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Dancehall entertainer Squash appears to have stumbled into an ongoing Federal Bureau of Investigation's FBI probe before his firearm arrest in Florida last month. A copy of Squash's arrest report reveals that police picked him up and another man after the entertainer was allegedly seen taking possession of a firearm. On February 24, Squash was arrested in Miami and charged with possession of a firearm and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. Reports are that about 10:58 that Monday night, Squash was stopped by police in the 100 block of 41st in Miami Beach for a traffic violation. The entertainer and a man identified as a 24-year-old Zidane George Prescott were signaled to pull over their grey Mercedes-Benz car. The police say while approaching the car, Squash, who was a passenger, was observed reaching for his waistband and placing a black object in the glove box. According to detectives, Prescott was driving with a suspended license. When questioned, he said there were no weapons in the car and consented to a search. The police say they immediately went to the passenger side glove box and a gun was found. The gun, a Glock 19, was modified with an InvisiSwitch plate designed to make the weapon fire automatically. The modification turned the gun into what is popularly referred to as a chip Glock. A further search of the car revealed a Glock 35.40 caliber gun with an extended magazine under the driver's seat. The police say that the gun was not securely fastened and readily accessible for immediate use. The police also found 3 loaded magazines, one in the driver's side door, one in the center console, and one in the trunk. Both men were arrested and charged. The police note that Squash does not have legal status in the United States and is already before the court awaiting a separate immigration hearing. According to the arrest report, Squash was seen by an FBI agent being handed what is believed to be the same Glock pistol found in the car by a person who was under FBI observation. The FBI then called local police, who went on to arrest Squash and Prescott. It is unclear if Squash remains in custody. According to court files, the entertainer paid a $2,500 bond on Monday. However, there is no indication the bond negates the immigration hold that is being placed on the St. James native. He is scheduled to return to court on the 26th of March at 9:15 a.m. A man has been charged in connection with last month's seizure of 66 firearms and over 4,000 rounds of ammunition at Port Bustamante in Kingston. He is 36-year-old truck driver Davian Roberts, a dual citizen of Columbus, Georgia in the US and Corville Gardens in St. Andrew. Roberts was charged on Monday by the Firearms and Narcotics Investigations Division. He is facing charges of trafficking prohibited weapons and failure to comply with a production order. On February 17, personnel from the Jamaica Customs Agency detected anomalies in a shipment and contacted FNID investigators. A search of the shipment yielded 50 handguns, 16 rifles, 4,737 assorted rounds of ammunition, and 83 magazines. Investigations revealed Roberts as a shipper and intended recipient of the arms. An operation was launched 3 days later in Southborough, Portmore, where Roberts was arrested. On the 25th of February, Roberts was served with a signed production order from a judge, which mandated he provided his phone's password. Roberts refused to comply with the order and was slapped with an additional charge. A bus driver was shot and killed along Burke Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine this morning. The deceased has been identified as 37-year-old Michael Miller of King Street in Spanish Town. Reports are that around 8:05 a.m., Miller was standing near a plaza on Burke Road when he was approached by 2 men, one of whom was armed with a gun. Miller attempted to flee but was shot by the gunman. He was hit and collapsed onto a stall. The police were called and Miller was transported to the nearby Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. No motive has been established for the killing. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the matter. Dhana Warren, who is charged with allegedly making threats in a video posted to social media following the shooting death of reputed Don Othniel Tickman Laban by the police, was further remanded in court on Tuesday after being denied bail once again. Warren, who is 22 years old, is charged with malicious communication. During a bail application in the St. Catherine Parish Court, her attorney, Rodian Richardson, argued that Warren has no connection with gangsters in St. Catherine. In advocating for his client's release, Richardson referenced the case of dancehall artist Kiprich, who has been charged in relation to a song that police claim endorses gang violence and paid tribute to Laban. Kiprich is out on station bail. Your Honor, I have noticed in recent times someone else has been charged similarly but benefited from bail. I think it is only fitting for bail to be considered, Richardson said. The judge emphasized that Warren is facing a serious charge and that no new evidence has been presented to justify granting her bail. As a result, Warren was remanded to facilitate a psychiatric evaluation report, which remains outstanding. The case is scheduled to return to court on the 1st of April. The attorney representing dancehall artist Munga Honorable Christopher Townsend has revealed that even after 7 years, the prosecution's file re the 2017 murder of Cleveland Smith remains incomplete, and as a result, full disclosure is yet to be made to the defense. A report from the authorities who had examined telephone records and phones collected in the matter to do analysis remains outstanding. Townsend admitted that although that report may support the defense's position, he had a difficulty with the development and found it more than a bit odd that the file had not been completed after 7 years. Having held out for 7 years, I am now concerned as to what this report will come and say, Townsend said. He lamented that the delay had created unforeseen problems. The attorney suggested that his client's constitutional rights had been breached because of the inordinate amount of time the case has been languishing before the courts. Munga is scheduled to return to the Supreme Court on April 30th to answer to the murder charge. And now, with the case fast approaching, Townsend has called for the Director of Public Prosecution's Office, the Judiciary, and the Bar to make a decision. We have to dump some cases that have been before the court for an inordinate amount of time. In a mature democracy, why can't we dispense justice in a reasonable time? We have to dispose of matters, Townsend said. Attorney at law Mark Morgan, who has been charged in connection with the alleged fraudulent sale of 2 properties in Ironshore, Montego Bay, St. James, valued at $18 million, had his bail extended until the 2nd of June. Morgan made his first appearance in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. The 42-year-old is accused of attempting to sell the properties without the owner's knowledge. Morgan, who the court heard is employed to a government agency, is to report to the police twice per week as part of his bail condition. It is alleged that Morgan submitted fraudulent documents to the National Land Agency to secure transfer of the properties. But the owner reportedly does not know Morgan. Morgan is being represented by attorney Deborah Martin. The case file is reportedly incomplete. Martin is to receive disclosure from the prosecution on or before the 16th of May. A district constable reportedly caught with ganja at the Horizon Adult Remand Center on Spanish Town Road was granted bail in the sum of $300,000 when he appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. 25-year-old Robert Campbell was charged with dealing in ganja and bringing prohibited articles into a correctional facility. Reports indicate that on the 21st of February, Campbell, who is from Point Hill in St. Catherine, was getting dressed for duty in the barrack room of the correctional facility when a small parcel fell from his pocket. He reportedly stepped on it quickly, which arose the suspicion of a supervising corporal. The corporal then called for another officer and instructed that Campbell and his knapsack be searched. During the search, a package containing 4.18 ounces of vegetable matter resembling ganja, vegetable matter resembling tobacco, a USB cable, $20,650 in cash, a pack of Whistler and a lighter were discovered. When cautioned, Campbell reportedly told the police that an inmate had threatened him to smuggle the items into the facility. He has denied the allegations against him. Campbell is to return to court on the 15th of May for a case management hearing. As part of his bail conditions, he is required to report to the Point Hill Police Station every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. He was also ordered to surrender his travel documents and a stop order was imposed. A man was fatally shot during a reported confrontation with the police in Westmoreland on Tuesday morning. He has been identified as 35-year-old Junior James, otherwise called Shutter, of Gullybanks in Savannah, Lamar. A submachine gun with 4 rounds of ammunition was seized in the incident. Reports are that about 6 a.m., a police team went into the area in search of James, who was wanted for questioning in connection with serious crimes, including shootings, murders, and extortion. Detectives in the St. Andrew South Police Division on Tuesday charged 38-year-old Andrew Watson, otherwise called Luther, who police say is a top-tier member of the 33-lane gang, for the beating and fatal shooting of a man. Watson, a farmer of Walton Park Road, has been charged in connection with the murder of 21-year-old Jonathan Martin, otherwise called JJ, a laborer of Walton Park Road. Reports are that on Friday, January 10, around 8 p.m., Watson, accompanied by several men, confronted Martin at his residence and demanded that he leave the area. The group then allegedly struck him repeatedly with boards before chasing him along Brotherton Avenue, where he was shot and killed. The perpetrators then fled the scene on motorcycles. The police were summoned, and upon arrival, they found Martin's body on the roadway with gunshot wounds to the head and leg. He was transported to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Watson was later arrested, interviewed in the presence of his lawyer, and formally charged on Tuesday, the 4th of March. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening, and see you next time.